I don't know if everybody knows about this. The Switch 2, they've released
Electric Boogaloo.
cartridges, physical cartridges that do not have the game on them. You have to, it's just a key that that kind of kicks in the download. Basically, it's not so. Instead of having the data on the cartridge, so
Data.
I got this off the internet. All the kind of this stuff. So game preservation concerns perception of ownership, development cost cutting, impact on physical media and user experience. Right. So the game preservation concerns. The primary worry is that when the Switch 2's online service is eventually shut down, games and keycards will become unplayable because there's nothing on them. Perceptions of ownership. Critics argue that keycards don't offer the same sense of ownership as traditional physical games, as the game is tied to the user's account and potentially subject to future restrictions.
Yeah.
I'll
give you.
I've only got two more.
Okay.
Developer cost cutting. Some believe that the developers are using keycards to save money on cartridge costs, potentially compromising quality and completeness of physical products. The impact in physical media. These are concerns that the prevalence of keycards could lead to the decline of physical game collecting as they blur the lines between physical and digital ownership. And then user experience. Keycards can also be convenient for those with limited internet access, requiring them to download large game files. I don't quite get that.
Inconvenient, surely.
Sorry, inconvenient. Inconvenient.
That changed the whole meaning of that sentence there.
It did. And then resale value. While some see the potential for reselling keycards, others argue that their value diminishes compared to traditional physical media. So it's not a new thing. Sony have been doing this on their discs as well. So the disc is really a key to the download. It's not got any data on it. I just don't like the trend at all.
I don't, and there's also I don't know if you're aware of what's been going on, but there's been a bit of scandal recently around this movement here called Stop Killing Games. And there's a guy on TikTok called Thor, Jason Thor Hill, I think his name is. Anyway, he's he goes under the handle Pirate Software. Pirate Software did a very famous game I can't think of the name of now. Undertale. Was it Undertale? There wasn't something like that. I can't remember.
All right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, they did. Let me look it up because I want to get that right. What did they do? Heartbound. That's it. They did Heartbound. And he has been very vocal about not supporting this. Now, I can understand both sides. I fall into the camp of I think you should have, if you bought a game, you should still be able to play that game if you have the physical hardware to play that game. The whole emulation thing, that's another question. But if you certainly have the physical wherewithal to play that game, you should be able to play that game in perpetuity for the rest of your life. The problem is they don't want you to do that. And by they, I mean the publishers and makers of consoles don't want you to do that because they would rather sell you a service that they charge you £10 a month to access, because then they know that they're getting £10 a month to access it, or whatever it is to access it. It's the same thing as streaming services. It's the exact same argument as that. You do not own the content. For all the hatred that this band gets, I own this copy of Pop. This is my copy of Pop. Unless somebody comes in and steals this from me, I still own this, and I can play this anytime I want. And if I have an Apple or a Spotify or whatever it is subscription, I can listen to it. I get a license to listen to it. But if I stop paying that, I lose access to these things. Yeah, and that's kind of what the fight is. Is like, is this where we want to end up as consumers?
And also down
do we want to
Aye.
make a stand and say enough of this stuff? We want physical things back.
Yeah, and also down the line when the Switch, the servers for the Switch 2
Which is
shut.
what this is. Yeah.
Your game
Yeah.
is you just get a bit of plastic in your hand. You get
Yeah.
nothing.
And that's kind of what the Stop Killing Games is all about, as well as like their argument is that they should still be able to play the games even if they've turned the servers off. So even when the servers are off, you should be able to, patch the game somehow or whatever it
Yeah,
is and get it to work offline.
that's the thing. You could
And
argue that with loads of games now.
yeah,
That uh, Call of Duty games and all those.
yep,
That are
all
they've
of that, yeah,
got Fortnite. They've got heavy server.
yeah.
Um,
But again, all
stuff.
these games, they'll all sell you, battle passes or season passes or whatever it is,
Yeah.
so that they get you to keep playing the game. The vast majority of people will buy those battle passes, never use them.
No, it's got to
And
stop. It's a bad trend, I think, and
yeah,
I think it's that is the way
well,
they want to go. But it's
having said that, though,
yeah,
as consumers, we should realize that maybe we're undervaluing the software that we get. So
yeah.
maybe games should be $100,
Mm.
and we
Oh,
get the full game with that $100. No,
controversial.
but what I'm saying is we get the full game with $100.
Yeah.
It's not that we get half the game and then there's a day one patch, or there's DLC further down the line that actually gives us the 4 missions that we're missing from the game at the
Yeah.
start. Like, give us the full game when
Yeah.
we buy the disc.
Day
When we
one.
buy the physical disc, day one, we get this in our hands, and then we're good to go. We don't need anything else.
Yeah.
And I kind of miss that. I miss that. Just I know exactly what I'm getting. I don't need to worry about battle passes or any of that stuff.
I'm gonna have to take a small break.
All right,
2 seconds.
we'll break now.